This is a video chart presentation of Imperial Petroleum Inc. I have been trying to check these out. They're listed on stock charts as pink sheets. OTC Markets has this listed as an OTCQX. That's the highest tier in their listing platform, and it trades under their ticker IPMN. This is an interesting chart because we typically look at bottom plays, and today we're going to take a look at a play that's had a really strong uptrend, pinned against resistance now at this point, and talk real quick about what to potentially look for in this chart. We're going to try and shoot through these indicators pretty quick because obviously there's going to be some very strong uptrends to them. This stock has come from around 45 cents all the way up to $1.75. Interesting to note that right through here actually started with the PPO ADX pinch, followed by a strong PPO trend back towards zero, something that we talk about a lot of times to look for in a pincher play. A couple things to note. A little bit of different look between the PPO and the MACD this time. PPO did make a higher high. MACD, of course, did carry the upward channel. Well, like I said, we're not going to spend a lot of time on these because obviously they're going to have to retrace at some point. ADX still in a pretty decent position. Can't really draw the trend line yet because a valley hasn't been made, but it looks like the ADX is going to try and continue on an upward path. Somewhat neutral based on the positive and negative DIs, but definitely leaning towards the bullish side of things because it's registering over a 40. That shows a strong trend. Of course, the MFI, the accumulation distribution, shaking money flow, all showing just a lot of buying pressure. More buying money than selling money been coming into this play, of course. It's been taking it upward. Very strong uptrend. Something to note, though. Shaking money flow. Sliding back downward a little bit. CCI is actually in bullish position, but by definition, it needs to make a break through 100 in order to be a buy point. Again, just one more thing reiterating the idea of bullish positioning of the chart, but still somewhat neutral. Full stow. Again, in bull chart territory. Not making a higher high at this point. And the tricks, nice upward trend, but not making a higher high, and a bearish cross. You see the similarity in the indicators, not making higher highs, but still definitely a lot of momentum in the play. Now, this is a case study basically in technical analysis where charts have a little bit of negative divergence. This price per share is still trending up through here, but the indicators aren't making higher highs. It's the exact opposite about what we talk about on bottom plays. Now, it's a bit of a double-edged sword. It may sound a little fickle, but everybody knows that charts and indicators do have to retrace. And in my opinion, the key to this chart is going to line that $1.70 range. There's going to be a top-end resistance at $1.85, of course, but this has failed to close above $1.70 for the last month or so, and it set itself up as a pretty strong resistance. Some key things going on with moving averages. We always talk about on strong movers, pay attention to that 10-day, and you can see this has really been flirting with it the whole time. 10 days getting up underneath it right now. It's about a make or break point for the IPMN chart. I just don't think it's going to trend sideways at this $1.70 for much longer. I think it's either going to try and break up and have these indicators take back off again, or this is going to break down and it picks up support in two places. One at $1.50 and again at $1.30. If it can't hold that, I think it could be in real trouble because it doesn't pick up support again until down here around $1. And of course at that point you're talking about breaking through the 50-day moving average from the top side, which is a very bearish thing. And it's obviously quite a steep fall from the $1.70 area it's at right now. I didn't check the share structure on this, but you can see 60,000 shares traded is really about average for it, but obviously it trades on low volume. You're paying attention to the volume bars and using them in correlation to the support and resistance in two ways. Moving upward, I want to see a strong volume bar. I want to see it take out this $1.70 because if it takes out and holds above the $1.70, I think the odds of it taking out $1.85 are greatly increased, and for this chart to go back into breakout mode. If I see a strong volume bar that's red, showing that there's a lot of selling pressure, I think the odds of it busting through $1.50 are greatly increased. It's going to come down here and put a good test to $1.30 and perhaps this 50-day moving average. So when it comes time to use technical analysis to try and make some sort of decision as to which way a chart will go, many times it doesn't really give you an answer. But what the TA does is shows you definitive support and resistance levels that you wouldn't get if you couldn't read charts. And from that point, it's a matter of watching it trade, seeing how if it comes down here and it starts picking up buying pressure, as if investors are seeing it as a good buying opportunity because it's on support, it reinforces the idea of support. If you keep seeing it not breaking through, it just reinforces the idea of resistance. It all just does go hand in hand. These indicators help give you a little bit of a hint. Right now, I think they're leaning towards the bearish side because of the negative divergence, but that all can change pretty quickly if it can take out that resistance. So it's a great case study for technical analysis. And it's a really good example of a chart that's had a lot of momentum and made a really strong move to see how it proceeds from this point forward and see how it deals with these support and resistance levels. So I'm going to put it on the watch list and see where it goes from here. As always, merely my interpretation of the Imperial Petroleum chart. Thank you for watching and trade smart.